Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to y'all another video. Hope y'all are having a very great day. Hope y'all are having a very great week. My day is going absolutely awesome. Big shout out to all the channel members, all subscribers of the Trey Keys Show family, and much love to each and every last one of you all. And you all, we have a story out of Pennsylvania by way of Philadelphia. And big shout out to everybody in the great state of Pennsylvania, everybody in the great city of Philly. Now, this story was sent to me by my channel members and also my subscribers. I want to thank all of you all for sending me this story because it is a topic that really needs to be talked about. And now I'm sure that a few of you all have heard of this story by now. And for those who haven't heard of this story, it is really quite shocking and also sad what happened to Mr. Christopher Williams, 62 years old. He was a guy who spent 30 years in prison, 25 years on death row, all because he was lied on and the DA in Philadelphia was withholding evidence involving his case. And that came out decades later. And that's sad for the Philadelphia District Attorney office to do that to this man, to sit there and withhold evidence and lie and have this man thrown in prison for all those years, only to get out and 20 months later, gunned down at a funeral he was attending for his friend. Now, that goes to show you the type of world that we live in right now. And that's why I tell you all is that it's best to do the right thing. Now, look, before I start the story, I'm not up here to say if Christopher was guilty or not because the state of Pennsylvania did convict him. But like I told you all a couple minutes earlier that they were withholding evidence on Christopher. They lied on Christopher also. So I'm not up here to say was he guilty or not for the crimes they said that he allegedly committed in the beginning. But lo and behold, evidently, what I feel, somebody felt that he was guilty in some kind of way because how can a guy spend that many years in prison, you taken away from society, 30 years? I mean, a lot of people forget about you after one damn day. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to forget about you after 1 year. So, some people don't forget. And also, I'm going to tell you all this right here for those who don't know anything about the streets. The streets do not forget. Now, I don't profess to be a top shotter, a top gangster, or the wizard of the streets, but one thing I do know is how the streets operate, because that's how I survived this long too, because you got to know how to maneuver in life. Now look, I want to say this also before I start the story, is that we all have a past, you feel what I'm saying? So we can't sit up here and judge Christopher and say, well look, well maybe there is some truth to this. I'm going to tell you this also in the same light. There's some truth to a lot of things then. I mean, we can speculate all day long. But one thing you all know about the Trey King Show by now is that we don't speculate, we speak number what? Yes, facts, all day, every day, like my people in St. Louis say. So I want to say this also. Whoever shot Christopher at this funeral, shame on you. I mean, that's the next thing low down to killing somebody inside of a church. So that's why I said that this must have been very personal, because what person gunned somebody down at a funeral? And Christopher was attending this funeral for his friend, and his friend goes by the name of Tyree Little. But anyway, we'll break the rest down as I read a snippet from the story. I'm going to read a quick snippet from the story, and I am going to give my opinion, all of it. Surely, as we go, Philadelphia man on death row for 25 years, too damn long, cleared of 6 murders, cleared, he was exonerated, shot and killed while attending funeral. Well, that's a sad shame right there. You could have got me in a grocery store or shooting in my sleep or something. How you going to shoot the man right after he got out the car? And also what I want you all to understand is this right here, is that, look, if you have been to jail and you have been exonerated and not found guilty on certain charges, especially killing somebody, you must understand that person that they said you killed had family members and friends also. So they may not feel the same way as the court do. Even though the court may find you not guilty or exonerate you, guess what? In the hearts of men, you are still guilty. Just like somebody evidently still found Christopher guilty. Now, me personally, I wouldn't stay in the state who kept me locked up all that long. And then when I got out, don't even have no kind of compensation for inmates who have been wrongly convicted. I would have got the hell up out of Pennsylvania and with my butt to California some damn well. Anyway, a wrongly convicted Philadelphia man who spent nearly 3 decades in prison before he was released last year was gunned down at a funeral, said the authorities. That's a sad shame right there. The man was only out 20 months, spent one Christmas home. It was about to spend this one home. But guess what, though? Was it meant to be? Now, no arrests have been made in the murder of Christopher Williams, 62 years old. And also what I want you to do is look at this picture. You see Christopher at one age, he's either 28 or 30 years old in this picture. And also what I want you to do is look at him in this other picture. He's either 60 or 61 years old. You know what I'm saying? You see how time changed? Time waits for nobody. That's why it pays to do the right thing. Now, look, I know I'm one of the only few YouTubers that sit up here and tell you all this. And please don't take it the wrong way, like, here go Trey preaching. No. Love is correction. When people talk to you like that, that means they got love for people in general. I have love for people in general. That's why I do these stories, taking up for the people. Now, look, I know I do stories also where we have to find murderers and all that. Yes, because, you know, we're trying to bring justice to the victim family and also to the victim. So we should have that same energy when it's somebody who had just got out of jail or prison, because guess what? They're still human also. Now, On the other hand, if Christopher was guilty and they said he was guilty, it wouldn't be no story because I would have no room to fight. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. I can't stand with a person if you're doing wrong. But if you did right and I felt you did right, it's my job to stand with you and you should feel the same way. Now, anyway, like Christopher Williams, 62 years old, was shot in the head at Mount Pace Cemetery at around 2:20 p.m. right after he got out the damn car. Like, that had to have been somebody waiting on Christopher. That's why I want to ask you all right now. Do you think it was random or do you think this was targeted? Because if it was targeted, who in the hell target somebody at a funeral? And like I told you all a few minutes earlier, that's like killing somebody at a church. That is very personal. And that's why I say the streets never forget. The justice system may find you not guilty, but guess what though? If somebody in the streets think you did something, you better watch your back. Anyway, now Christopher was taken to Temple University Hospital a few minutes later where he was pronounced deceased. A sad situation right there. That man fought 30 years in prison to stay alive, keep people from messing with him. You know what I'm saying? 25 years on death row. I mean, they could have came and executed him anytime, but guess what though? No, that execution was going to come later on. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to be real with you all. You feel what I'm saying? So imagine you sitting there on death row and you thinking that you're going to die on death row, not realizing when they get you up out of this prison, that's when you really going to die. That's a sad way to look at life, but that's just the way life is sometimes. And that's why I say sometimes it's best to leave your hometown, your cities, or whatever, your neighborhoods, and go to hell somewhere else. You feel me? Especially if that same city and state that's all up here and had you wrongly convicted. You know what I'm saying? Like, who in the hell gonna get out and stay in the same place where they was wrongly convicted at? You know what I'm saying? Who gonna do that? Anyway, let's continue. Now, Williams had been convicted in 2 separate cases, a triple murder in 1989 and the slaying of Michael Hainsworth, who was also killed later that year. But it don't stop there. It also goes on to say Williams and co-defendant Troy Colston were convicted of the Hainsworth murder in 1992. But guess what, though? Then in 1993, Williams and co-defendant Theophilus Wilson were convicted of the triple slaying. So it sounded like to me they were just throwing murders left and right at Poe Christopher. Christopher back there like with a baseball glove catching all them damn murder. That's a sad shame right there. Now, you know what, though? I mean, they have an old saying. See, when you tell the truth, you don't have to say nothing else. The truth stands for itself. But guess what? When you tell one lie, what you have to do? You have to tell one more lie, another lie, and also another lie. You feel me? So, evidently, the Philadelphia DA office didn't know what the hell they was doing. Look like to me, let's just keep it real. Look like they were just trying to throw another black man in a penitentiary. Let's just keep it 100. Anyway, now decades later, Philadelphia prosecutors, now they decided to do the right thing, moved to dismiss the murder convictions against Williams in both cases after having found tainted testimony. People were lying on them. And also exculpatory evidence. People looking around right now like, Trey, what in the hell is a exculpatory? Exculpatory is this right here. Because I already had it bookmark for y'all. Exculpatory means this. It means show or declare that someone is not guilty of wrongdoing. So they had all the evidence in the beginning showing that this man was innocent. But guess what, though? They still took 30 years of his life. 30 years in prison, 25 on death row. And then the state of Pennsylvania had a nerve to sit up here and don't want to compensate wrongly convicted inmates. That's sad right there. I mean, if you're going to be justice, if you're going to make justice, justice should be for everybody. You feel me? Because any of us can get lied on. Any of us can walk into a bank and somebody can walk right behind us and shoot 3 people and they walk right out. They'll think that we had something to do with it because you walk right in together. Or you will have a hard time trying to plead your case. Just think about it. Now, just say if you walked in that bank and somebody walked right behind you and you didn't even know the person and they gunned 3 people down and you up here on parole or probation or just newly released from jail or prison, you'll have a hard time trying to explain your case, right? So what I'm trying to say is sometime in life you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time and things just happen. But for them to sit up here decades later and say that it was tainted testimony and exculpatory evidence that police discovered but never shared with the defense lawyers. Now, how you gonna keep the information secret? They do this all the time, all across the country. And true enough, some people need to be in prison. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them do. Now, you got some people there that are innocent. So when you go to jail or you go to prison, especially these prisons, and somebody tell you that they are innocent, true, most of them are lying. 99% of them are lying. But that 1% there do not need to be there. They are wrongly convicted. And we should remember that as such. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's close up. Now, since his release 22 months ago, Williams had been working as a carpenter with hopes of starting his own construction business that would employ free convicts. Because you already know once you got that jacket on your back, once you got the convicted felon record, it's hard to get out here and do the right thing in life. Even though you still should pursue that. Because guess what? Either you're going to work out here for a couple dollars or you're going to work in prison for free. So that's a good thing that Christopher wanted to do that, to sit up here and start a business to help employ people that were just freed from prison. So they go to show you the heart of this man. Now, true enough, maybe at one time in life, his heart was another way, but as he got older, as you all can tell, as with a lot of us, his heart changed. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, we're going to close on what his lawyer had to say, and this is what his lawyer had to say. His lawyer said, it's incredibly tragic. That guy went through decades in prison, 25 years on death row for crimes that he did not commit. Let me say that one more time, because somebody out there hard of hearing. For crimes that he did not commit, because the system failed him. And guess what, though? And he had to pay the price twice. Number one, when he got wrongly convicted back in the day and had spent all those years in prison. And then at this funeral, when he was gunned down. Now I want to ask you all once again, like I asked you all in the beginning of the video, do you think that this was a random attack, or do you think it was targeted? Now I'm going to give you my opinion. Me personally, I think Christopher was targeted, because like I told y'all, the streets never forget. You got to remember that. That's why it pays to do the right thing in life. Anyway, you all let me know what you think about this story. If there's anything I may have missed or misinformed, which is not my true intent, please let me know in the comment section, or you can email me and we can talk about it more there. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Also, share the video with your family and friends. Till next time, you all stay blessed, and I will see y'all soon on the next Trey King Show. And happy holidays once again. Until next time, I'm out.